Okay. When does self-scout start? Okay. It does not start at the end of the season. Your process for self-scouting should be set before the season. Staff, position coaches, any help support staff you have should know the process of self-scouting before the season so they can use the time during the season to prepare. All right. So whatever you're going to want to see, whatever you're going to want to watch, whatever you're going to want to have clipped out, whatever you're going to want to have a report on, make sure you set that stuff in the summer before training camp starts. Have this meeting. This is what we're going to evaluate. And not only does it give you the ability to evaluate it all season, week to week, if you have a bye week especially, right, it gives you a chance to just kind of look at what you're doing, evaluate it as the season goes. And then when the season's over, especially if you're a college team, the season's over, it's often the busiest time of the year. You know, if you're in Division I, you're going to bowl games. If you're in D2 or FCS and you're getting ready to go, you're recruiting, you're in the playoffs maybe. You have a lot of information, a lot of things to do, and everything in the program is pulling you in a lot of directions. You don't want to be letting this linger where you're not getting your self-scout ready to watch until February, March, and then you're not using the off-season time. You're not utilizing the off-season time best you can. Right? You want to be done with this stuff, in January, so you can utilize the information you get out of it. So set your process before the season. Okay. And again, how much can you get done in season on a week-to-week basis? Right? Non-efficients and explosives, you might not always be able to watch them that way or make sense of them exactly, but you have them tagged, you have them cut up, you have them separated. Okay. All the explosive plays you got, all the non-efficients, have those things tagged out, have them separated somewhere that you can access them. Missed tackles. I want every missed tackle in its own cut up. We got a running reel of missed tackles, and because it drives what type of tackling we practice. If we're really good at profile tackles or whatever you call your tackles, if you're really good at those, but you're terrible at tracking the hip, you're going to make your adjustments to your tackling circuits, to your tackling practices, right? So as the season goes, right, missed tackles, what kind of tackling situations you're in. Tackling is the essence of playing defense. You have to, know the situations for tackling or name them. I think it's the best thing to do to name those situations. However you do it, angle tackles, profile tackles, sideline tackles, whatever you do, name those situations so you can evaluate them. And then, as the season goes, what do we need to practice? What are the tackling situations that we're not doing well that we need to improve on? Right? And then a situational library. All the situations that you want to save, right? 2-minute, 4-minute, 4th and 1, 3rd and 1, 2-point plays. Okay, backed up, save all those situations somewhere. I save them by coordinator. I save them by the coordinators that we're going to see and I'm going to play. So every year, the coordinators that we're going to play in the summertime, we're going to go get as many as we can, however far it goes back. And we're going to look at those things and build that library against that coordinator, because you might be in week 3. And I believe in every week getting a rep of like Hail Mary final throw. I believe in that. I believe doing it from where they can throw it in the end zone and when they can't reach the end zone. I think even if it's in a walkthrough setting, sometimes that's what it is. It's what you have time for. But I want to know how they're going to line up. I've been in situations where I've looked at it and maybe somebody gave us empty. We never had prepped for empty, right? So you need to have that library so you're not taken by surprise for something that might come up in the game, right? And so as you build that library out, every week you're saving those scenarios that come up. And then if you don't have those scenarios that come up when you're game planning, you can reference it, last year's versus this coordinator, 3 years ago versus coordinator. Last year, this coordinator was at other school and I have it right here. So those are the things you build in that situational library. And organize and save your notes. I take pretty detailed notes throughout the week. I try to color code them best I can. I can't always maybe find the pen colors that I need, but I try to organize the best I can and take pretty detailed notes. So what I do at the end of the week is I take any new calls, the drawings, any new calls. I take all my notes. I take the end of the game sheet that we wrote down and we wrote all the stuff on, and I stick it all together. I scan it and create a PDF of everything. And then I save it on a hard drive and then I throw all the stuff away. Right? I don't save 100 binders like a lot of people might, or older coaches might have had to, but create a PDF. I call it a game book, and I use that, and then I can obviously next year I pull it out, and that's the first thing I look at on Sunday when we're getting ready for another team. So.